Hello LinkedIn, Richard on his Churchill Fellowship. Today talking to you about a program a group I met with in the USA. Now I'm not in the USA, I'm in London still, but I am doing my initial fellowship was to go to the USA for 8 weeks. And that's because on a surface level, it looks like USA has the most advanced lived experience programs. And just to recap, lived experience, system impacted, justice system, child protection system, marginalised communities. Now, unfortunately, because of my criminal past, visa problems, so I had to pivot, go to these different countries, but also do the USA part online because they hold a very important piece of what I'm researching. And I met with my first organisation the other day. Now, their program is very interesting. I wish I had been there to see it, but because I would call it, and he didn't call it this, but it is this, I'd call it a supervised lived experience model. So in Queensland and in USA, if you're a lifer, especially in this part of the USA where they're based, if you're a lifer, you can't get a Children Authority card or what we call a blue card. But like him, like myself, I see lifers as a powerful tool to be used in youth intervention. Now, obviously not all lifers. Like if they've got crimes against kids, then they're excluded. And the same goes for this program. Any crimes against kids, sorry, you can't be a part of it. It's very interesting. Like the idea of a supervised lived experience model is very, very interesting. So what they do is they have about 12 to 15 employees. Some are clinical, counsellors, caseworkers and all that sort of stuff. And then some are lived experience mentors. Now, they have connections in the prisons, and they work with people in prisons. They work with people who've done a very long time, generally lifers, people who are excluded from doing youth work, and they get an indication that, yep, someone who wants to be part of their organisation, wants to turn their life around, he's doing work in the prisons. They start talking to him, he or she, and then when he or she gets out, they volunteer with the church for 6 months. So they don't have to be religious themselves, but they've got to volunteer for the church for 6 months just so they can get to know them, know that they're serious and all that sort of stuff. So once they do that, then they can get into paid employment doing mentoring. Now, most of these people have done 20, 30 years, so their computer skills aren't great, so they don't do any casework. Casework's done for the caseworkers. They mainly do the mentoring. They do this at their centre, and they do this in the schools. Now, the interesting thing is it's all supervised. So the mentors are never left alone with the child one-on-one, which would be, breaching the law. In the schools, it's supervised. It must be around teachers. In the community centre, there's obviously casework and that sort of stuff, so they can do it there. But it's a really, really interesting idea because, I think lifers have a place in this sort of work, and an important place. But the blue card thing is just so strict, especially in Queensland. If you've done life, you're automatically disqualified. And I've heard, I don't know if this is real, but so much so that if a lifer applies, if the state wants to, they can take action against them just for applying. I don't know whether that's the case. I was told that might be the case, but I also don't know whether that would adhere to model litigant principles that governments need to adhere to. So who knows? But the idea that this is possible, and it is possible, and it is working, is very, very interesting. And, it's something for me to think about, or anyone to think about who's interested in this sort of work, that this is possible. Like it is possible to get lifers in there. It is possible to do a supervised lived experience model. It got me thinking. I hope this gets you thinking. Just a bit of an update. And tomorrow I'm going on a prison visit or part of a prison program. Hopefully my approvals have gone through, and then I'm heading up to Nottingham. I'll do another video on an overview of London or something like that. All right, guys. Thank you.